On Tyranny by Timothy Snyder. Audiobook summary and review by StoryShots. Introduction. The sudden collapse of democratic institutions is not a historical relic. It remains a present danger, often initiated by small, incremental steps that normalize the unthinkable. In his essential guide, On Tyranny, 20 Lessons from the 20th Century, historian Timothy Snyder draws upon the darkest moments of European history to provide a practical handbook for citizens on how to resist the rise of authoritarianism and defend liberty in their daily lives. This book serves as a vital warning and a blueprint for action, urging readers to recognize the early signs of tyranny before it is too late. Key Idea 1. Do not obey in advance. One of the most insidious ways tyranny takes hold is through the preemptive self-censorship and cooperation of the populace. Snyder argues that when citizens anticipate what an authoritarian regime might want and begin to comply before being asked, they are actively building the structure of oppression for the regime. We must consciously resist this urge to obey in advance. For example, if a new political movement begins to demonize a specific group, the immediate practical resistance is to actively associate with and defend that group, rather than quietly distancing yourself to avoid trouble. Snyder reminds us that the minute you say what you think and what you believe, you are a revolutionary. By refusing to normalize oppressive language or policies through early obedience, citizens maintain their moral and political agency. Key Idea 2. Be wary of the one-party state and the language of eternity. Tyrannical movements often seek to destroy the concept of objective truth and replace it with a mythic narrative of inevitable destiny or eternal purity. Timothy Snyder highlights how authoritarians attempt to make their rule seem permanent and necessary, often by claiming to represent the singular, true will of the nation, thereby justifying the elimination of political opposition. When politicians speak of eternal historical grievances or claim that only one party can truly govern, they are attempting to erase the possibility of democratic rotation and change. The practical lesson from On Tyranny is to defend institutions that rely on facts, such as independent journalism and scientific inquiry, and to remember that all political systems are temporary and subject to change. To abandon facts is to abandon freedom, Snyder writes. Key Idea 3. Investigate and establish eye contact and small talk. While grand political gestures are important, Snyder emphasizes that the defense of democracy relies heavily on maintaining human connection and civility in everyday interactions. Tyranny thrives on isolation, fear, and the breakdown of social trust, making it easier to dehumanize targeted groups. The simple acts of engaging in small talk with strangers, making eye contact, and being polite yet firm in public spaces are crucial acts of resistance. This prevents the creation of echo chambers and forces citizens to acknowledge the shared reality of those around them. If you see injustice, act, even in small ways. Practical resistance means refusing to look away when someone is being harassed, or simply correcting factual errors in public discourse, thereby preserving the social fabric that autocrats seek to shred. Final summary. But the most surprising strategy in On Tyranny is the advice to be calm when the unthinkable arrives, a lesson that contradicts the natural human inclination toward panic. Snyder insists that maintaining composure allows for rational, strategic resistance rather than reactive compliance. This book powerfully reinforces the idea that democracy is not a given. It is a fragile system that requires active, daily maintenance from its citizens. Anyone concerned about the erosion of democratic norms, historical revisionism, or the rise of strongman politics should read On Tyranny. Want the complete breakdown? Download the StoryShots app for the full summary, visual infographics, and animated video summary of On Tyranny.